Sound of Metal is an Amazon Prime original, apparently only in the States, and it stars Riz Ahmed as Ruben Stone, a drummer who starts to lose his hearing, and it tells the story of how he deals with that in the future. I've heard nothing but incredible things about this movie. People have been saying it's the best of the year, and I've actually also seen it on people's favorite of all time lists on Letterboxd. So that excited me, and I'm happy to say this is easily one of the best of 2020. Whiplash is one of my favorite movies ever. It's my favorite to come out of last decade, and when I first heard about this movie, it reminded me of Whiplash, but when you watch it, you realize it really isn't. I don't mean that in a bad way though. Don't go into this movie expecting another Whiplash or hell, even another drummer movie. This is a full-on character study about Ruben. Speaking of Ruben, Riz Ahmed gives the best performance I've seen all year. There's been some great ones with Chadwick Boseman, Elizabeth Moss, Jesse Buckley, Ben Affleck. There's been so many, but this one just tops them all. He knocked it out of the park here, and Nightcrawler is another one of my favorites from last decade. He's fantastic in that. We've had him in Rogue One, we've had him in Venom, but this is by far his best performance. This is easily a career best, and I'll be surprised if he manages to top this one someday. In some scenes, he goes to this dark place, and he has some big scenes where he starts yelling, and it feels real. That's one of my favorite things about this film, is that it feels real. I felt like I was watching this man struggle, and a lot of that also goes to the supporting cast, especially Olivia Cooke and Paul Raci. I'm gonna say Paul Raci. It's also a very emotionally demanding movie. You hear about physically demanding movies, you know, when an actor changes their body or they have to go through all this stuff. But here, I think it falls into the category of emotionally demanding because there's a ton of scenes of shouting and it gets really intense, and that would really take a toll on you as an actor. From what I've heard, this is the director Darius Marder's first film, and if that's true, holy shit. He gets us to feel exactly what our lead is feeling, and he builds these intense moments with and without sound. Another thing worth mentioning is the sound design, which is easily some of the best of the year. We have a few drumming sequences, but what's really important is the sound of him losing his hearing. The movie's sound will sometimes cut out, or we'll hear different frequencies that play through it, and it adds that extra punch that we needed. As for issues, I barely have many. As I said, I think this is one of the best of the year. I can recommend it to everyone. But when we do go into that second act, when we transition there, it goes into a different direction, and it took me a little bit to get on board there. And the movie is 2 hours long, and I feel like if they cut about 15 minutes, made it an hour and 45 minutes, it would have been flawless, but still, I adored this movie. Sound of Metal is an intense, riveting, passionate, and forceful punch to the gut. Riz Ahmed's powerhouse of a performance deserves Best Actor, and the sound design is some of the most unique and effective of this year. This one leaves you feeling impacted in the end, and make sure to be on the lookout for this one during award season. I'm gonna give Sound of Metal an A. I had high expectations going into this one, and I'm so glad they met it. This is easily, as I said, one of the best of the year. It's actually in my top 3 right now. I'll have a top 10 favorite movies of 2020 coming out on New Year's Eve, so December 31st, so make sure to watch that. I have 1 or 2 more reviews to do. Tomorrow I'll be reviewing Wonder Woman 1984, or the next day, but I think it's gonna come out tomorrow. If you've seen Sound of Metal, tell me what you think of it in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.